Hello, Namaste, Sasrikal, good evening. Welcome to another show of the S.S.Chandhok Talk Show. Today again, we have very eminent guests from Pan India. Without wasting any time, let me introduce to them. First of all, we have Bharti Sunil Bhagwani ma'am. She is the principal of GG International School. Ma'am is an educator come academic ambition who had not only paved her path to success and learning, but has also supported, mentored, and guided many teachers, professionals, and students toward making the right choices in their professional and academic life. As the head of the institution, she is the captain of the ship called GG International School. As a member of the institution since its inception, ma'am has walked the extra mile to bring into only innovative pedagogical practices in schools, such as interweaving of life skills, sanskars, and physical education, but also has also made the school a seat of experience, learning, has served the school in the capacity of a teacher, head of examination department, vice principal, and has been taking care of the school as the principal from now 6 years. Not only students, but also teachers have benefited from her visionary leadership. She has ensured that with each academic year, teachers are able to improve their skills, set up by organizing workshops and training for them. Ma'am understand the unique balance of academics and co-curricular activities. Therefore, every week on Friday, she attends the pedagogy meeting for teachers and interacts with not only with the academic teachers, but also the staff taking care of the co-scholastic activities. She also reviews the session planning files of teachers and mentors them along with their head of departments. The administrative wing of the school also looks up to her for guidance and feedback. Apart from fulfilling her duties as the principal of a school, she also is the she also has been the observer and also been appointed as master trainer for Khelo India campaign run by the central government. In all her leadership capacities are reflected in the smooth functioning, discipline, and well-maintained premises of the school. And thank you so much, Bharti ma'am, that you are over here and you have a great experience. As you have told us that you had been the teacher here in the school, then as an, I think as an headmistress, and then as a principal. So since how long you had been there in this school, ma'am? GG
Sir, since
International.
last 13 years.
Great that. So that means this school started 13 years back.
No, sir, the school started 15 years ago.
Right, right. But when it came to the affiliation part, you might have joined over there.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So we can say it's
So
an
I was there for the first affiliation, then extension, then senior secondary, then extension, then extension.
So ma'am, please let us know your experience that when did you came into the education field, from which school you started and came over to GG International?
Okay, sir, I'm an engineer by profession.
Oh,
So,
great.
so I started my career with. I was into research and development of a private company where I was working in research and development of CNC machines. So working on microprocessors and microcontrollers. This is after my marriage and after my son was born. I took a break from my service. So, and then at home, I was helping children from the neighbors and helping them with my subjects are maths and physics. And then one child referred me to a school called BG Academy. And I joined that school as a maths teacher in the year 2005. And then I was there in the school and I did not have any qualification, the educational qualification. So then I took a break from the school after 3 years, did my regular B.Ed. And then I joined GG International School as the examination head and the maths and the physics teacher for the senior school. And then I became the vice principal and the principal. So this is my journey in education.
So how do you feel in this school that you have become a principal now here in this school for the last 6 years? Will you like to change, like to have a change? Although you cannot say it to the public because your school people will also see to it. But will you like to explore more, or you are satisfied with the system and the management and the working conditions of the school?
No, sir, I'm never satisfied. I keep on exploring, I keep on learning a lot of things, and I want to implement. Basically, my focus is that we need to give best to the children. Our children need to be happy, and I don't like, weighing children in one box. So, a specific class of 6, all children of grade 6. That is what I don't believe in completely. So, if my children are good with literature, with maths and science, is perfectly fine. So it should not happen that every child should be 80%, 90%. And I don't believe in this assessment policy at all. So, sir, this is my thought process. And to change this thought process, lot of working and time is required. So it's an ongoing process.
That's great, ma'am. That's great, ma'am. And this spirit should be with everyone.
Yeah.
This is what we are also following as a principal. Thank you so much, ma'am, and welcome. Next, we have Rashmi Lohan, ma'am. She is the principal of DAV Police Public School, RTC Campus, Gurugram. Welcome, ma'am. Her saying is that an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Ma'am is a phenomenal educator and a great scholar, and she was born on 7 October 1973 in Karnal, Haryana. Being a child of a family from army background, she has been brought up and got her education from various army schools and universities across India. The journey during childhood and getting exposure to interact with people from various Indian states made her quite influential and open-hearted. She's MA, B.Ed in English. She is married to a colonel sir. His name is Sanjay Lohan. She is the founder principal of DAV Police Public School, Bendosi, Gurugram since 2017. She was also appointed on different positions in many schools. She also serves as chief editor in many magazines. Her army background transformed and prepared her to be a more effective educator. Her education philosophy is based on her uncompromising belief that all students can learn, give a positive learning environment, strong and knowledgeable leadership, a committed and focused in education team, and encouraging community and a supportive family. She believes in latest technologies as well as Vedic culture to be followed in education, which gives students a great exposure to the realistic learning and also being up to date, fluent, and impressive orator. She's impacted many people and gathering during her teaching career, which has transformed her into a great leader. And all the eminent guests present over here, they are associated with many associations with on national and international level. And also everyone has got award on national and international level. So we cannot count it out because it will take a lot of time to say that. That was a short description about Rashmi ma'am. We welcome you, ma'am, and we are very grateful that you are over here. Please share your experience as an educator. You are from a army background. You might be quite disciplined, first of all. And because your husband is also in army, so you might be more disciplined as you got it from your parents also. That is one thing we want to know. Other thing is that how this way, and I mean, whatever education you are imparting, how you are taking up in your school.
Thank you, sir, for good words, first of all. This is nothing extraordinary, sir. I was brought up like a very, very ordinary child. And, walking from one school to another every second year or every third year was a part of my life. And, we are born that way that you have to accept whatever comes your way, wherever you are, just accept it, be happy over there, interact with people. That was the philosophy of life. And by virtue of my father or maybe my husband, wherever I was, everything has added on to maybe what I am today.
And how
So
you're using your Vedic culture, the Vedic culture you have.
actually, sir, yes, I, along with being a part of family, which is army family, my grandparents and my elders, they like the firm believers of Arya Samaj. And I remember when we were very small, when we started speaking, so we started our vocabulary with the mantras, Om Bhur Bhuva Swa, then the Sandhya, and it used to be a everyday practice. So that thing was very well imbibed right from the childhood. So yes, it was there, but definitely it flourished when I joined DAV. In the year 2012, my husband was posted in Pathankot and he was to move to a field station and I was to move to some place in NCR because of my children. My daughter was in 8th and my son was in 10th. So there was no way we have to shift to NCR. And then there I found DAV. And it was something like a spark was ignited. Whatever was there inside, it came up all on the surface. And I started feeling that what a nice culture we are having, whatever it's a birthday, be it's a marriage anniversary, be it the first day of the session, be it any program, it starts with a Havan and it fills you with lots of energy and lots of, it gives you a good aura, a nice pious feeling from inside, and of course, a push to go ahead. That's what. And, I remember when I was, when I joined this school, my present school, this DAV Police Public School, and we were rolling out first batch of class 10th. That was in 2018. My chairman, then the Commissioner of Police, Gurgaon, I invited him to school. And after the ceremony was actually a Havan. So it was a blessing ceremony. I named it myself, so let it be a blessing ceremony because the school is rolling out the first batch of class 10. And there was a ceremony wherein the chairman was blessing the children with flowers and I couldn't imagine why tears rolled out of my eyes. The children were sitting nicely with eyes closed as if really, blessings were showered onto them. So these things, they sometimes touch you and push you ahead to, have a firm belief in that culture, as we call it Vedic culture. And now in each and everything, I have seen that it has got such a firm bondage with the everyday realities of life. It's great, sir. And, my children, teachers, now it has become a part and parcel of the school life. In my school life, it's automatically, it comes. So if I say, I don't say, like we reopened after pandemic, Havan, then, whatever, any, I name a program, be it an LMC meeting of the school, a new teacher joining, the session starting, everything, every time, there's a Havan. So that was what my journey was, sir. And of course, so many intellectuals sitting in front of me. It's nice vibes coming on too, and looking forward for a great interaction today. Thank you.
Sure, ma'am. Welcome, ma'am. And this is the get together of the principals only and managements that we should. This is the goodness about the media, the electronic and this media or internet, that we are able to connect with each other, even staying so far away. That is, and moreover, ma'am, mental satisfaction is very necessary. You said that tears came up your eyes. That was tears of joy, that you were feeling so good. That do a job you love and you will never have to work a day. It's like that only. And at the very same time, the first and the most important thing is the mental satisfaction. And when you're getting mental satisfaction, you will love working with it. And in the head of the family or head of the institution is like this, of course, the team and the teamwork will always be positive, because you are already spreading, whenever you are doing anything related to culture, it may be of any religion, you feel positive. Whenever you're feeling down, if I'm feeling down, I put on some type of part or shabad like that. So positivity comes in my mind, and I feel like that every time it should go in the mind or in the air, because that brings positivity. It's not only Havan or Hindu religion or anything. It's all about the positivity. हम किसी भी धर्म का कुछ भी करते हैं तो वो पॉजिटिव है. I'm moving through a church, I'm moving through a masjid, I'm moving through a gurdwara or a mandir. My head goes down, going that thanks God, because we also say that in Punjabi, in Gurumukhi, that Ek Omkar, there's only one. He might be in any shape or any form, right? Thank you, man. Thank you, Rashmi, ma'am. And we are also delighted of listening into so good things. Thank you. Welcome, ma'am. Next, we have Dr. Shivani Sahni from HRM Global School, Delhi. Ma'am is a voracious learner grown from the marketing profession to an educationist. She's a postgraduate with 2 decades of experience, 12 plus years in education at various verticals in schools for academic implementation and school management. In furtherance, she has the experience of leading as school head 3 startups, namely Dolphin POD, Vasant Kunj, that is Life Skills Development Center, GD Goenka Public School, Bahadurgarh, and HRM Global School, Pritampura, from their inception, making them the institution of excellence and academic brilliance, displaying her passion and commitment towards education. Having worked in conjunction with the idea generators, curriculum developers, and promoters have given her an edge in her leadership to achieve or exceed the school objectives, aligned with the vision, mission, and core values. She has a dynamic approach in working closely with the stakeholders and the work towards building 21st century skills in children. She has achieved excellence in academic administration and operational matters, including achievements of all the school revenue and profit targets in the organization work so far. Being an ambitious worker, she has received various awards again for her professional work. She has been designated with an honorary title of Global Presence Ambassador by Parenting 2.0 for Life Skills. Again, ma'am is also associated with so many associations on national and international level. And again, ma'am has 3 to 4 pages, a list of awards she has received during these years. We welcome you, ma'am, and we like to know two things. First of all, is that how did you came from corporate world marketing professional, that is corporate world, to the schooling, and how was your experience as an the founder principal of so many schools or associations?
Firstly, I would like to say namaskar to everybody and thank you, Mr. Chandhok, for having me here, share the platform with the eminent educationist here, and also for your kind words of appreciation. So thank you so very much. Yes, it's a question that very often comes to me, how from a corporate to education. And believe you me that I had never thought, while I was growing up, while I was studying, I had never thought of getting into education. So people make the priority list, the children while they're studying, they make the priority list. Okay, plan A is this, plan B is this, plan C is this, if I have to fall back on. And education was never in any of these plans for me. And I was lucky enough, immediately after my graduation, not even that the result had come out, I got selected with Pfizer Pharmaceuticals and started working very soon after my exams were over. I had spent about 8 years in pharmaceuticals and very wonderful years with that industry. A lot of learning had happened in that industry. In fact, when I talk about selling skills, when I talk about parent handling skills, is what, because there you're meeting a lot of professionals where you have to handle a lot of objections. So all of that skills that got developed during that also helped me in the education sector. So in 2008, August, I happened to be a part of a learning atmosphere, which was called Landmark Worldwide Education. I don't know how many of you are aware of it, but it's basically on a Erhard methodology, Erhard teaching methodology, which is a 3-day program, 3.5-day program, and it is very widespread all across the globe. So I happened to be a part of that program, and that is where during its advanced course I developed, actually discovered for my own self that I am a possibility of unconditional love and support. And that is the turning point for my life, where I thought that I am here for making something big, basically a contribution to the society, and not just thinking about my own career. And that is the point where I thought that, okay, let me get into education, because there is where I can be, like, it'll be easy for me to touch multiple lives at one point in time, which probably in any other industry I would not be able to do that. And that is the passion that I got this, that got me into education then in December 2008. So August I attended Landmark, and December I got into education. And I was lucky enough that my mentors, my colleagues, they were so nice, they were so good that I learned from them in the process. And that's how I am there now, sustaining in the education world. And the second part of your question, where you asked about my experiences as the founder principal. So yes, I would say that I have been lucky enough to be learning wherever I had been. And since I had been associated with almost all the schools where they were at the juncture of the buildings getting constructed is when I joined them. So I had been in right from the beginning, the process of policy making, the process of curriculum. I had also been associated with curriculum development team, where I gave them the feedbacks from the implementation side, what things are working, what things are not working. When we introduced the project-based learning, so how it went, how the parents were reacting to that, because it was very difficult for the parents in 2014 to accept the experiential learning methodology. They were like going through a conventional methodology where they had a fixed mindset of making their children learn tables. This is just one such example, and not make them understand what is the purpose of tables, how to construct the tables, why. So that why thing was missing, how to do things, creation of curiosity. So all of that was missing. So to handle all of that, that was a Herculean task at that point in time. So all of these years I had been learning. I'd been a co-learner with all my colleagues, and it had been a wonderful time. I think it's best to be a founder principal. Why? Because I think you can create a culture of your own, which were already in a setup institutes, probably you find it much more difficult. So I could create the culture that I wanted in the ecosystem, and I'm able to touch lives. So my motto is getting fulfilled, and I'm really blessed.
Thank you, ma'am. You are right. I also had been the principal, founder principal of two of the schools, whichever I'm working from last 5 years, this one and the previous one, St. Anandam Japuria, which one of the branches in Ghaziabad, Vasundhara, also the same one. So I was the founder principal of Hamirpur branch. And when you, come up with a startup school, you will learn very different things. If you are getting a running school and you are going to start up a school from the scratch, it is very different. When you do it from the scratch, so you get a different experience. Just like a baby is given to you, you have to change the nappy, everything you have to do, and you have to bring it to a big child. And there you feel proud also, and you learn many things which I had learned in these two schools as a founder principal, and all the documents and everything, going to the people and talking to them, and whatever things have to be arranged with the team and everything with the management. So my both the schools, two of a management, they slept all the time, and I did everything.
Okay.
So what it was everything 100% had to be done by me. And when you are getting independent chart, it is very difficult and it's very risky also. If the things are positive, you won't get appreciation, but if something gets wrong, so everything will be on head. So it was in a remote area, so what that high tension wire was passing through the building, that had to be done, removed. Many things had to be done. So that is a very different another experience when you go into a startup school.
True that.
That experience you have gained.
Yeah, in fact, I would know each and every space of my school, where what kind of electric wires are going, what kind of things, so all of that, that's a very different feeling altogether. And my PA at times, she would come and say, "Ma'am, how is it that you know everything?" I said, yeah.
How do you do?
Yeah.
The best part is, sir, when you have an inspection, you even remember each and every date,
Absolutely.
when you applied and when you got your NOC, when you got your permission, when you got your recognition, each and everything. So that's great, ma'am, no doubt. Being a founder principal is a different experience.
Oh my God, creating the website, recruitment, everything, every little thing, talking to the design team, admin team. Oh, it's so much. But then when it all starts, getting done, you feel so accomplished, the kind of feeling that you have. And I think it's like with the challenges, you learn more. If those challenging environments are not there, I think the learning gets stopped. So for me, I think I'm a person who loves to be in a challenging environment and keep creating.
That is for sure, ma'am. And I remember when I went to Jaipuria, so it was the second year of the school, and I thought I would have got the recognition of 1 to 8. I'll move for the affiliation. That was also not being done, and I had to get that thing done. I had to get done the 9-10th affiliation, and high tension wire was passing through the building, and the tunnel had to be made through, and that has to be done. Everything, as a male member, I had to move at places also, to the BSc officer also, to the court also. I had to get my land certificate signed, and the land was bought in 4 installments, and you had to get it signed, and tomorrow is the last date. I straight away went. I had a very good relations with the then DM. I went to him straight away. I said, sir, I don't have any papers and you have to sign this. I mean, everything I got it done from there. I made relations over there with everyone, and DM also. And it was a wonderful experience. As you also said, it's a wonderful experience when you work at different places. So I have also worked with the TPS also. I worked with the Singhanias also. I had to work with the JGIs also, Jain Group of Institution Bangalore. With them also, I have worked with them also. So I also have experience of 25 years plus experience as an educationist, and from around 8 years I'm as a principal also. Thank you, ma'am. Welcome, Shivani, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chandhok.
Next, we have a very wonderful and gentleman, Mr. Mayank Jain. Let me introduce him first formally, then I'll tell you what type of thing he's doing. He has obtained a degree of BTech from, again, an engineer from one of the most prestigious college in India, DCE, which while in college, he founded a platform called Easy Schooling that would go on to become the largest admission platform in Delhi NCR. He has helped around 20,000 plus parents in their admissions journey through his Zoom sessions. He also visited 1,000 plus, not more than that, of schools across India and consulted and guided them on how to boost admissions. He knows the ins and outs of this field like no one else. He also told me, apart from that he has a family business of his father. He didn't join that. And he had an incident when his brother admission had to be done in any place, and they were very confused where to get it and how to get it. So there it came into his mind that I'll have to start up this type of project, which he will tell in detail. Welcome, Mayank Jain, and please let us know about that, how you got into this Easy Schooling and what is this.
Thanks a lot, sir, for a warm introduction. And I think Shivani ma'am का school हमारे साथ already है, HRM Global. So I just so उनका है, हमने board भी लगाया हुआ मैम के school के बाहर.
Yes, it is.
तो that's so अभी Delhi के admissions अभी finish हुए हैं हमारे. तो but
नहीं, अभी कहाँ finish हुए मयंक जी? अभी date extend हो गई है
21st. नहीं मतलब चल रहे हैं, but I think flow is now not that जो हमारा 7 जनवरी तक था, flow decrease हो गया. तो अभी मैंने जैसे बात करी शिवानी मैम से, शिवानी मैम का जो कॉर्पोरेट से जो एजुकेशन में आने का है, तो मेरा भी कुछ ऐसे सिमिलर रहा. तो डीसी से बीटेक करने के बाद आई गॉट प्लेस्ड इन अमेज़न एज एन सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर. तो उसके बाद फिर ये हुआ कि यार मतलब भैया को प्रॉब्लम फेस हो रही है, कौन से स्कूल में एडमिशन ले, कैसे कराएं, बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स होती हैं. एंड पुणे में भी अभी मैं रिसेंटली आई विजिटेड पुणे एज वेल. सो वहां पे भी कितने सारे पेरेंट्स को कितनी दिक्कत होती है. सो वो जो पूरी प्रॉब्लम थी, इसको हमें सॉल्व करना था. तो इस वजह से मैंने ये स्टार्ट करा. एंड सीइंग जो रश्मि मैम ने बात बोली कि कल्चर और ट्रेडिशन, तो आजकल मैं देखता हूँ जो इंजीनियर्स होते हैं ना, वो यहाँ पे करके बाहर एमबीए करके बाहर जॉब करने चले जाते हैं. तो वी हैव टू सॉल्व समथिंग फॉर इंडिया, मेक इन इंडिया, एंड एक्चुअली डू समथिंग फॉर पेरेंट्स. सो वो जो हमें एक कनेक्शन बिल्ड करना है, और मेरे को ऐसा लगता है जो स्कूल्स और पेरेंट्स के बीच में जो कम्युनिकेशन है वो एक बहुत बड़ा बैरियर था कि हमें नहीं पता लगता। जैसे रश्मि हमने इतना अच्छा बोला कि ट्रेडिशन जो उनके स्कूल में फॉलो होता है, बट ये वाली चीजें अगर हमें पेरेंट्स को नहीं बता पाएंगे तो that is something that we need to bring out and tell it to parents as much as possible so that they can make right choices according to their aspirations. So that is really important. And then जैसे भारती मैम ने बताया कि जो उनका एक्सपीरियंस रहा है, शी ऑलवेज वांट्स टू ग्रो, तो मेरा भी कुछ ऐसा ही है, आई ऑलवेज वांट्स टू ग्रो एंड मेक दिस कंपनी अ बिट मोर हेल्पिंग कंपनी फॉर स्कूल्स एंड पेरेंट्स बोथ। तो इसी तरीके से कुछ कुछ करना चाहते हैं। तो अभी सही चल रहा है, मतलब 500 के आसपास स्कूल्स आ गए। शिवानी मैम जैसे प्रिंसिपल से काफी सपोर्ट मिलता है हमें, एंड सर तो हमें सपोर्ट कर ही रहे हैं।
And you are working with many good schools, also very big brand. Like all the schools are of course good, with many big brands also. I have come to know through other been telling in the earlier sessions also that the systems have changed, and this will be moving pan India. It will not be like this that we used to go to the railway station and stand in a queue and send someone to get the ticket done, then through the agents. Now we are doing it directly. So now everything has come on internet. If we will not change, of course, everything we are changing in the schools also according to the technology. We know the pros and cons of everything, but still we have to move like the world is moving, like the market is moving. So here also, I felt that because this concept is a very good concept where the parent is sitting at his home only can visit the schools at your website, and they can apply to 4 to 5 schools or as many schools they want through that website only, and they can visit also. They can visit through the website. I think you told me that you have put up some
so
small websites of all the schools who are associated with you.
राइट। तो अभी रश्मि मैम जैसे बोल रही थी कि बहुत सारे पेरेंट्स से मिलना पड़ता है कोविड में, फिर उनका टेस्ट लेना और वो सब लेना, तो वो सब हमने वर्चुअल कर दिया एक्चुअली में। सो अब कोई भी स्कूल हमारे प्लेटफॉर्म पे आके अगर उन्हें टेस्ट लेना है, इंटरव्यू लेना है, तो वो भी वर्चुअली कर सकता है। तो वो एक बहुत बड़ी प्रॉब्लम थी, तो कोविड के टाइम पे जो हमने फिगर आउट करी। बट स्टिल व्हाट आई फील फ्रॉम द मार्केट सिनेरियो इज पेरेंट्स का जो सेंटिमेंट है वो अभी भी नेगेटिव है, और उन्हें 1 साल बाद रियलाइज होता है कि अरे नर्सरी की क्लास मिस हो गई, अब केजी में ही करा सकते हैं। तो पूरा वो जो उनका वो होता है, क्या कहते हैं, पूरा जो सेंटिमेंट होता है वो खराब हो जाता है। फिर वो कहते हैं यार केजी में कराएं, नर्सरी का करिकुलम मिस हो गया। तो मेरे को एक ये मैसेज भी देना है सारे पेरेंट्स को जितने भी सुन रहे हैं, कि अगर आप ऐसा सोचेंगे कि हम 1 साल की फीस किसी स्कूल की हम नहीं देंगे और स्विगी और डोमिनोज के ऑर्डर में हम उसे खर्च कर दें एज कंपेयर टू गिविंग इट टू द स्कूल, तो जो ये लॉस होगा ना एजुकेशन का, अगले 15-20 साल बाद उसके रेपरकशंस आएंगे, एंड दोज रेपरकशंस विल बी वेरी डीप। सो वो एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट मैसेज है। एंड एबीसीडी अगर बच्चे को सीखनी है ना, तो मैं कहूंगा उसके लिए एबीसीडी सीखना भी बड़ा मुश्किल है। वो हमें आसान लग रहा है, पर 3 साल 4 साल के बच्चे के लिए वो भी मुश्किल होता है। तो ये बात समझाना पेरेंट्स को बड़ी जरूरी है इस समय।
This is you're absolutely right, man. Because the thing is that parents have a concept that the pre-primary classes you can get it done at home or nearby school only, and from grade 1 onwards you can put him in a good school or are in a good school, and they don't understand that these 3 or 4 years are the crucial, that are the base foundation which the child is going to have. But now the things have changed because the pandemic is now it has completed around 2+ years now. The parents have also understood कि हम अब बच्चे को घर में बिठा के कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे. We have to send to the schools. This thing is there that they cannot go to the schools and visit because the Delhi NCR, or we are talking about the big cities, there the things are more worse as far as COVID is related. So here again the parents have, in starting also they had the misconcept. बहुत सारे दिल्ली के schools में कहाँ पे उन्होंने protest किया था कि हम fees नहीं देंगे, it is all drama on online classes. But gradually they have understood that through the medium of these type of webinars or this talk show we are keeping it, this we are sending it to the parents also. It is not like that. We as an educationist, we are working around the clock 24/7 for online classes. If the teachers are coming or we are coming to the schools, they are coming around 6 to 7 hours and everything has been done. But here throughout the day, they have to teach from morning till afternoon, and from afternoon till evening, they have to make ready what they're going to teach tomorrow. So they are doing the job 12 hours or 14 hours. And if you're not satisfied, if you'll close down the schools, we would have closed down the schools during the pandemic when it started. तो अभी तक 2 साल से बच्चा आपका 2.5 साल से घर बैठा हो तो आपको समझ में आता है कि आपको फीस देनी है कि नहीं देनी है, और इससे बेटर होता है हाथ जोड़ के आते हैं स्कूल के आगे, प्लीज in some way you start up the classes. So now people have started understanding that quite a lot, and they know that this pandemic situation may or may not, arise or may not go down also, because people have started saying, "Ab iske saath hi jeena padega," whatever it is. So we have to admit our child in the schools. We have to become educated, because for 2 months, 4 months, or 6 months, or 1 year, we can make them sit at home. But हम इतने साल बच्चों को घर रखेंगे तो हमारा बच्चा ही खराब हो जाएगा, जो पिछला भी पड़ा है. And of course, you told me that you are taking too many sessions with these parents also, to bridge up the gap between the schools administration as well as the parents. That's a remarkable thing you are doing.
Thank you.
Welcome. And we are wishing you a good success. Let's come up to the next part of the show. We'll come up to the questioning round, and we will come up to ma'am, Bharti ma'am. Welcome to Bharti ma'am. Bharti ma'am, we have the first question for you. Schools in India have suffered a lot, especially during the pandemic period, which we are discussing right now. Discuss some of the problems that you and your schools have faced during the preliminary phase of pandemic when it started.
So in the year 2019, when this pandemic, year 2020, when this pandemic hit, it hit the nation and the globe, and the school education system, basically, which was focusing on, physical classrooms, had to come online. So this new platform of exploring was a challenge for the teachers. I would say that it did not create a panic in the teachers, but yes, there was a challenge. So it was digital classrooms, it was internet-based learning, and this was what was required because children had to stay indoors, everyone had to stay indoors. Now just imagine a teacher who's the most important part in the student's life. They develop a bond physically, they all had to stay indoors, and their physical presence cannot be considered. So, as the head of the institute, I feel that this pandemic gave us a lot of learning. It was a learning phase where we had to focus on the challenges academically and logistically. Some were minor challenges, some were major. But once we thought about it, we saw that, yes, this is a challenge and this is what. And initially we were not aware of, how many months this pandemic will continue. We never thought of that the pandemic will continue for a month. March 17, when the schools were announced to be closed down, we thought it is a few, days process and it will be taken care, and the summer vacation was also coming. But then later we realized that, yes, this is a challenge and it will continue with us. So we started with the platform of digital learning, digital classrooms. We had a meeting with the executive committee members of the PTA. The teachers were trained to provide online meeting apps, Google Classroom to conduct their classes. A lot of hand-holding and guidance of the teachers was the best thing that helped us to run these online classes in a smooth manner. The next challenge was the logistic designing, to ensuring that all the learning outcomes are met. The assessments are carried out seamlessly. Online assessments were a challenge, but with a creative outlook, we started designing these assessments focusing on the learning outcomes. And we were able to give them a variety of assessments. We wanted these assessments to be less stressful and more enjoyable for the children. The next challenge that we faced was the emotional, physical, and the mental well-being of the children, because they were not physically present with us. So we started introducing one fitness training period every day for the children in the beginning of the session. That helped us. That helped the children to get up in the morning, do a physical fitness class with their teachers, and then move on to their classes. We also had a class teacher period where we did not structure the class teacher period. The children can just speak anything to the class teacher about whatever they feel. So these two things helped us to motivate the children and join the classes regularly on time, understand the instructions guide, because they understood that their class teacher is there for me to take care of the problems that I am facing. So this one-to-one connect between the class teacher and the children also helped online, where we gave one specific period, end of the day, which was of 45 minutes to the teachers and the class teachers to discuss everything. Lot of celebration and festivals and special days and annual days is what we try to inculcate in the timetable, which helped us. We try to make learning fun and interactive, because we also understand the focus of the children concentration is very difficult. So we started working on the pedagogy of the teachers. We started implementing a lot of hands-on activities where children can use their house as a lab, and can use a lot of things that they see around them. So a lot of group discussions were done. We used flipped classroom in our classes also. Augmented learning reality also happened. Peer learning was there. So I would say that this pandemic, though it locked us indoors, it was like a chance to us. It was a chance where, yes, the challenges were there, but yes, we could sail through it. And I just want to say that we learned, we explored new ways of learning, we unlearned certain old methodologies, and we felt that, this challenge brought in or enhanced the creativity of not only the teachers, but me and the other heads of the school also. So then we accepted technology as a friend, is what I want to say.
Absolutely right, ma'am. We came out from the traditional approach to the modern approach. Yesterday also I was having a session on technology. So we were just saying that children have become so smart that they don't want to attend the online classes of the teachers. Why? Because they don't want to go to the traditional method of teaching. They say inse badhiya, whatever classes they are taking in the school, it's better I'll go up to the YouTube channel, I'll take up the class from there. So a lot of discussion was going on like this, and because the nutshell which came from the from the session was that the teacher should be very smart. Instead, the child goes and looks up to the YouTube sessions of the other other teachers or anyone. It should be that the teachers should look into that sessions, and according to that only they should convert themselves into the method, the modern method, with the children want. That is why I had been seeing that the students, especially from grade 8 onwards, maybe from 6 onwards, from 6 to 12, they are not sincere about the online classes. Till grade 6 or 5, they are sincere because the parents, they are under the parents. From 6 onwards, the children are not under the parents. They don't want to attend the class. They don't want to attend because they say what the teacher is not teaching something, anything, and whatever they teach, we're not able to understand that. I'll better attend my classes or whatever, the online classes they have been taking. I'll go through that. Everything is on Google. Google auntie, they were saying, ma'am was saying that Google auntie is over there. I'll learn from her. So here the thing is that the teachers have to become more effective if they don't want to lose their identity, because this is the right time. They say, teachers also say that ke wo bache इज्जत नहीं करते हैं, they don't respect. You have to earn your respect. When in our time, that was not respect, that was fear of the teachers and the principal will be beaten. But now the children are smart. If you are not giving in to them, they will just say you to move out. So you have to give it to them. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Rashmi ma'am, we would also like to know your experience during this pandemic time about the education has to be given to the children. Ma'am, you are muted.
Sir, actually, what ma'am has said, I think we all were sailing in the same boat. It was exactly the same experience because, it happened in such a quick succession, one after the another. There was no time to think back. The only question which was there in front of all of us is how to just make the things, happen, how to just make the education happen, how to come together and the process which is stopped altogether because of pandemic, how to go about it. Yes, there was lots and lots of learning in terms of technology. Yes, there was lots and lots of learning in terms of teaching pedagogies, adopting different methods so that the classrooms can be interactive, they should be good. And children, they do come and sit. Yes, there was not at all thought that the pandemic would go for so long and we will become used to it. Initially, it was just a struggle to make things happen. And then slowly it started coming, the learning atmosphere, learning platforms were chosen and classes started, running very efficiently. I think one thing which ma'am has missed here, which I would like to talk about, the biggest challenge was the finances of the school. As how the atmosphere was created, I couldn't say it very clearly over here. But yes, there was a lot of resistance from parents. The only thing which they thought was to stop paying to schools. So the challenge was how to get, give that support to your teachers. They were working day and night, teachers, those who have never been very friendly, even with the mobile, they have started teaching online altogether and using different tools and doing quizzes over line and assessment and different teaching methods. And then when you are expecting them to work for more than 12 hours, maybe 16 hours a day, and then you're saying we don't have money to pay to you because the school is not getting fees, it was really a predicament, I tell you. And every month, and it was a continuous struggle, meeting with the parents, meeting with the management, again meeting with the parents, and then pushing teachers, please convince the parents. And you yourself are giving, almost 10 to 15, 20 to 35 calls every day, convincing parents that please pay the school, otherwise this is going to be very difficult. So no doubt it was a roller coaster ride, but with the God's grace, I think now we are quite comfortable. Parents have understood that they can't do without it. Those who have left have come back again to school because they know where they have all missed onto it. And it was tough, but again, as taking the things into our stride, we sail through it, and now the situation is, it's good, it's comfortable, and good results are there, things are happening. We opened the school and it was such a great enthusiasm we have seen in the parents after the school, please open, you have got the permission from the directorate, please open the school, please open the schools, and that is how it's like that. So again, learning was taking place, it is taking place, but yes, the scenario has changed. Now we talk about hybrid classrooms. Have you ever thought at that time that what are hybrid classrooms and how to go about, when some children are taking lessons at home and some are physically present in front of you, right? So now we know very well what is to be done in what situation. Teachers have become so smart, they've become so technology friendly. If I don't know, I happened to there was a meeting, I was just before the pandemic, there was some guest in our school, and we were and the discussion of the meeting was how to make teachers use the laptops in their teaching, and how to. And today, if I think back, oh my God, that was old age. Now the teachers have evolved themselves like anything, and it's like a complete changeover has taken place. So opportunity came, grabbed, and a complete changeover in the education system. Of course, it has been observed. So, necessity is the mother of invention. So the necessity came, lots of invention took place, and it went through.
We are sailing in the same, we had been and we are sailing in the same boat. Everyone faced this. And the other thing was when the government said that you have to take the fees, you can take the fees monthly, you can pay the fees monthly. That was also a very, panic type of thing, because when you're collecting it quarterly, so it is 4 times in a year. Here you have to collect it 12 times in a year, and somebody's paying for 2 months, somebody's paying for 3 months, somebody's paying quarterly, somebody's paying for 1 month. So that is also a very big headache. And as soon as the parents come to know that again the pandemic is coming to, let's stop the fees, let's see the position, then we'll pay the fees. That is also because that paying the school fees is the last thing they have to do. All the necessity have to be fulfilled. If money will be left, then we'll pay the school fees. That is also a big problem.
It was a continuous struggle, actually, Mr. Chandhok. Every
with
day
everyone.
we used to adopt a different method to get them in this day like this, another day then something else, then another day something else. This was the scenario.
Many parents, they made their parents association. Many things happened. We are also. I said earlier also that we are, unrecognized Corona warriors. We have whatever we have struggled. Nobody else has struggled. Everything we had to. We have to struggle with the parents. We had to struggle with the management. We had to struggle with the children. We had to struggle with the teachers. It was a very panic situation, but we fought everywhere as a leader. And talking about that, parents came to you कि अब तो school खोल गए, school खोलिए. That is the voice of the mothers. Because in my home also, my wife used to say, शुक्र है भगवान का कि भगवान ने स्कूल बनाया जहाँ 8 घंटे बच्चे चले जाते हैं स्कूल और शांति घर में होती है. And we can see this, that when the online classes are going on, what is happening at home. So parents, especially the mothers, are happy because male members to usually they move away from home for their work. The mothers have to take care of the children. So that is also a very big problem. That is why parents said, "Bhaiya Bhagwan kare jaldi school khole," and they should go back to the school. So that was the voice of the mothers. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for reviews. Next, I'll come up to Dr. Shivani Sani, ma'am. Ma'am, every school strives to give its best to their students. And as you told us that you are also the founder principal of the schools, what values or what basic challenge, things you have tried to bring in to your children from the basic as a root, apart from education?
Right. Thank you, Mr. Chandhok, for bringing in this such a pertinent question across. In fact, I believe we all must keep students at the heart. And that's what the philosophy for me is when I'm building the culture in any of the schools. So I keep students at the heart. So basically they are the center. And so besides giving the conceptual knowledge to them, what I try to do is create experiences in the entire ecosystem, in the curriculum, to develop critical thinking, the curiosity and the inquiry and creativity amongst them. Besides building skills, to me, it is very important to develop a design thinking muscle amongst them, wherein I would say that I try and create an ecosystem of learning to learn, be rooted in the value system of Indian culture, because our Indian culture is very strong. In fact, Rashmi ma'am was also mentioning about it, and that's what gives that kind of ethos, that kind of quality, that kind of character building in the children. So that's what I try to create. Then creating a growth mindset is equally important. So all in all, I would say that at my schools, what we follow is an integrated approach where we are focusing on not just giving the knowledge of the concepts, but fostering character building, life skills like resilience, because we've all seen in these tough times, it's very important for us to be resilient. So how early I am able to bounce back is a quality that's very important for sustainability, for like the survival of the fittest. So resilience, grit, contribution, empathy, these are a few life skills that are integrated within the curriculum itself. Then developing the social skills amongst the children. Mindfulness is yet another very important aspect that I really work on. So I'll give you an example. Like ma'am mentioned about Havans in her school to create that kind of a positive aura and the vibrations. What I start with when the school is in offline mode, then also, and when the school is in online mode, then also, the first 10 minutes of the school begins with meditation. We all know, see, if I ask the question from anybody, do you know the importance of meditation? Everybody would say yes. But when I ask a question, how many of you really practice it diligently every day? I'm sure only a handful of people would say, yes, I do practice it, right? At least I don't until I made it a culture of my school, right? So first 10 minutes are dedicated to meditation. So when it is in the offline mode, it's through the PA system, a music is run. And when it is in the online mode, of course, all the teachers begin with that. So what I have observed is that right from the guard, when the students, teachers, the helper staff, everybody is following that, there is an immense positive aura that is getting created in the campus. That is one. Second, the calmness that gets built into. And once we are calm, we are more attentive, we are able to grasp more, and that has resulted in better academic results, better participation of students in the extracurricular and co-curricular activities, being more mindful. So all of these things are a result of just one very simple act, which is meditation, and a very small investment of 10 minutes daily. It isn't much, right? So that is what I'm giving one example that I want to create as a part of a DNA. I never grew up practicing meditation, so it has never became my habit. But right from the foundational years, when I am trying to give that kind of a culture to my students, I am sure it will become a part of their DNA, and hence they will be able to utilize this particular skill of meditating to get the desired results throughout their lives. So that's one example, and that's the kind of ecosystem that I have been trying to cultivate in my campuses.
That's great, ma'am. That's great, ma'am. And meditation is the best thing which can be done. And during the at the starting of the day, when you're doing meditation for 10 minutes, even, your soul gets pure and you have positivity all around, and learning becomes more good and more important. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Then we now will come up to Mayank, Mr. Mayank. Mayank ji, we'd like to know from you that because people have problems for admissions. It may be parents, it may be the school also. School also, there are very good schools, but they are not getting very good admissions. People have the trend that कि वो मिश्रा जी का लड़का वहाँ जाता है, हमको वहाँ भेजना है, या that school is quite old, we should send here, we should not go for a new school or for a school which is not very old. So how do you bridge up? Because we say that, even I say that you bridge up the gap between the parents and the school. How do you bridge that gap for the admissions?
Sure. Thanks a lot for a wonderful question. And सर दिल्ली में ना इस साल एक चीज ऑब्जर्व करी कि टीचर्स को भी कोविड वॉरियर्स माना गया है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे ना पॉइंट सिस्टम होता है. तो कई स्कूल्स ने इस साल पॉइंट सिस्टम के अंदर कोविड वॉरियर्स के पॉइंट्स रखे थे. तो 10 पॉइंट्स वर फॉर पुलिस पीपल, डॉक्टर्स, टीचर्स एंड फ्रंट लाइन वर्कर्स. जैसे हमारे पास 400-500 स्कूल्स है, तो उसमें 100 मतलब कुछ 10 या 15 स्कूल्स ऐसे थे जिनकी ये वाले पॉइंट्स थे 10 पॉइंट्स. तो Delhi में schools have started to imbibe a culture. We will prefer people from COVID frontline warriors. So वो हो गया है. And दूसरी चीज, जैसे भारती मैम ने बोला एंड रश्मि मैम ने एंड शिवानी मैम ने बड़े अच्छे से बोला, तो अगर हम ऐसे स्कूल में मैं पढ़ा होता तो आई वुड बी अ सुपर लीडर. तो इतना अच्छा स्कूल मेडिटेशन मैंने नहीं सीखा. लाइक व्हाइल ग्रोइंग अप ऐसे एथिकल्स एंड मेडिटेशन मैंने ही सीख पाया. तो अगर मतलब meditation really helps me in running easy schooling very nicely.
You can correct it by sending your kids when you get married to our to man school,
to HRM Global School.
100%.
No, or wherever I would be then.
Sure, 100%.
First he has to get married, then only, because it will take some time. It will take time.
Right.
He is too young.
नहीं, I am 25. So अब जो मतलब जो अगर एडमिशंस की बात करें, तो जो पेरेंट्स और स्कूल्स होते हैं, तो इनके बीच में जो कम्युनिकेशन गैप आता है, लाइक द यूएसपीज ऑफ द स्कूल्स एंड ऑल दीज थिंग्स. सो दीज काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स कैन बी डिस्प्लेड एट आवर पोर्टल. So what we are trying to do is to bring a transparency in the system, so that जो मैंने गलती करी है, जो पहले पेरेंट्स गलती कर चुके. एंड दूसरी चीज जो मैं मानता हूँ, वर्ड ऑफ माउथ इज डेफिनेटली द थिंग टू गो अबाउट, बट नाउ पेरेंट्स आर गेटिंग मोर डिस्कनेक्टेड, और जो फीडबैक्स है वो प्रॉपर आपस में नहीं जा पा रहे हैं. सो टू ब्रिंग अ ट्रांसपेरेंसी इन द सिस्टम वेयर ऑल द यूएसपीज, फैसिलिटीज एंड ये सारी चीजें डिस्प्ले हो पाए पेरेंट्स को, that's very important. So that is the key aspect that we try to do at our portal of easy schooling, and that is something that needs to be. So अगर एक बच्चे फैमिली एस्पिरेशन यूनिक होता है, हर बच्चा यूनिक होता है, हम ये नहीं कह सकते कि ये वाले बच्चे को यही वाला स्कूल चलेगा या वो होता है, तो वो यूनिकनेस के हिसाब से, आपके बजट के हिसाब से, आपका जो एक्सपेक्टेशन है बच्चे के हिसाब से, उस हिसाब से करो. मैं एक इंसिडेंट शेयर करता हूँ. एक पेरेंट आया मेरे पास, कहता सर ऐसा स्कूल बताओ कि मेरे बच्चे को एडमिशन कराऊं तो IIT में हो जाए मेरा. मैंने कहा सर ऐसी कोई मशीन नहीं बनी हुई कि आपने डाला और बच्चा IIT में निकल गया. तो वो एक बहुत मिसकंसेप्शंस हैं स्कूल को लेकर, खासकर कि हमने बच्चे को स्कूल में पढ़ाया, हमारा काम खत्म. बट मैं मानता हूँ पेरेंट्स का भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एंड इक्वल रोल होता है स्कूलिंग लाइफ में पेरेंट्स की. तो उसके हिसाब से हमें करना चाहिए, एंड दिस इज समथिंग दैट वी आर ट्राइंग टू डू एक्चुअली.
That's great. That's great. Even like you were talking कि मैं उस ऐसा कोई स्कूल बताओ कि उसको मैं स्कूल में डालूं, तो स्कूल से बाहर निकले तो IIT में ही सीधे से जाए, उससे बाहर कहीं निकल ना जाए. So this is with the parents, but the parents' mentality is also changing now.
Right.
One of the parent was yesterday, although he's a neighbor to me, he was asking to me that my child is in grade 8, 10, and she's quite confused to which stream she should go. So I talked about certain things about her mathematics, and she's 97, 98% student she's getting, but I asked that what are her likings and disliking with subject, what she's doing. So I suggested that she should go for humanities, because in humanities you have lot of opportunities. It is not like that we people have the same mindset, either my child should go to IT or he should become a doctor, MBBS karna chahiye. Nothing more than that. Science is the best, and either should doctor or engineer, bio or maths. But now the concept is changing. People have started thinking, people like you who are communicating, who has become the mediator between the principals of the school and the parents. You people also have started making the changes in the mentality of the parents, that it is not only that कि आपका बच्चा साइंस लेगा तो वो सुपर डुपर बन जाएगा. By the other streams also they can do a lot. IAS, PCS भी बन सकती है humanities लेके. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Then we'll again come up to Bharti.
Shivani ma'am wants to say something.
Yes,
Shivani
ma'am.
Yeah, Mr. Chandhok, in fact, not just that people like Mayank who are actually advocating about this, but I think a lot of initiative has been taken by our education department with the launch of the portal, which is about the career options, the psychometric tests and all of that. Very lately that had happened, very recently that had happened. That and a lot of other companies like Creative, eMango, and I mean, just to name a few, they are coming up in a very, very big way and are approaching schools where through their work, they are able to tell parents that what different kind of careers are available if your child does a lot of, different kind of streams like humanities and so many, which probably we weren't aware. However, in spite of all of that, I still know so many parents, who still have that kind of a mindset कि मुझे मेरे बच्चे को IIT में या DCE में या IC में ही भेजना है. Whereas I completely relate with Bharti ma'am that marks, percentages, and all of these things, are not, for people like us who are educationists, because like when I chose, like my son wanted to go into fashion designing. So I never said anything to him, in spite of the fact that he got good grades in, as in good marks in 10th, and his teacher asked, "You still want to go in humanities and not science?" He said yes. He looked at me and he said, "Mama," and I said, "Do whatever you want to, right?" And then one of my friends in UK, he was like, "What kind of a principal are you? You couldn't explain this to your child that how is it going to be? Like, I am preparing my children for King's College, for Imperial College, MBBS, and all of that." So people even living in those parts of the country, they are still believing in that kind of a system. That's a very, a painful situation. It will still take years for us to get all of these things really going into the head of parents. I hope with talk shows like yours, with efforts like yours, more people are going to make the parents realize it much sooner.
Ma'am,
so
that
that
was the
so that
main.
we are able to save children's lives.
Yeah,
their
that was the main.
happiness.
Ma'am, that was the main aim of starting this show, that parents, this is especially for the parents, not only for the principals, especially for the parents. They should understand what are the problems of the schools also. If you are on this side, if you are saying something, So it's a teamwork also, ma'am. Government is doing it through many apps, but how many apps the people are using it? India is an agriculture country. We are living in the big cities or Delhi NCR or big cities. But what about the areas where the small cities, they have same mentality, and that is a huge lot.
Right.
That is the huge lot. That mentality has to be changed. It is gradually changing. We need to have positivity in schools now. They have started up with the humanities, and the scope of commerce has also increased a lot in many schools, most of the schools now. So whatever wave is going on, कहते हैं ना जो हवा चलती है, that wave is going on is moving throughout the India because of this, the technology. If we are saying that, we were saying that we have in UP, we have got the instruction that the schools have to remain closed till 16. Today we were having Saudia meeting. I'm into the Saudias also. So they were asking, sir, what is to the coordinator, that what is the instructions further after 16. So he said that it will come in the newspaper, but it won't come in the newspaper in the evening only. You'll come to know through your WhatsApp, any of the WhatsApp group. It will come up to the many WhatsApp group. वो न्यूज़पेपर में अगले दिन बाद में आता है, वो पहले व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में 10 ग्रुप में आ जाता है कि this letter has been sent by DL. वो ट्विटर में आया, anywhere it comes, it flows like anything throughout the country or throughout the world.
True.
So thanks to technology, that everything is reaching to us, and this way also, it's a collective effort. We are doing it as a principal, as an educator. If I'm running a show, if Mayank is doing through his sessions with the parents, and government is also doing it, it's a collective effort. None of the single person can do it. That is for sure. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Next, Bharti ma'am, we have come to know from you that we said that during the pandemic, when it came to the first year, parents didn't wanted to give the fees. Especially, we had heard in many schools, the videos had come that the parents are protesting outside the Delhi schools or NCR schools, where they were protesting कि हम fees नहीं देंगे because no, it is we are making fool of the online classes. It's not worth of teaching. What do you say about that?
Yeah. Sir, first of all, I want to say that we need to understand the mindset of these parents who are raising the issue. They are all falling into different categories. First is the pandemic, which hit the sectors, and the economy was badly affected. There were job losses, pay cuts, delay in the salary, and many more challenges that this working class was facing. While the business class was also overcoming some kinds of challenges. So we decided that we cannot have all the parents and their concerns sailing into the same boat. So we identified two main categories of the parents. The first category was the parents who couldn't pay the fees as they were financially strained due to the job loss, pay cuts, delay in the salary, losses business, and so on, and closure of office, etc. While there were other set of parents who did not want to pay the fees, as that they couldn't understand that why they need to pay the fees when the physical building of the school was not functioning and everything has moved online. So first call was dealing with these parents in different categories. So first we tried to, take care of the parents of the first category who were financially burdened, and there was, pay cuts and job loss. So a lot of time was given to them. Monthly installments were given. Again, like the way we cannot have children in the same compartment, we cannot have the grievances coming from a group of parents in the same compartment. So the first target was to identify these parents. We did not give any discount in our fees because we were clear that we will not give discount. So we started with a scholarship scheme for all those parents who actually deserved it. And then we had monthly installments. We gave them time. There were few parents who did not have jobs, so we told them, okay, first find a job and then don't worry about the fees, we will take care of it later. So this one group of parents, so more than half of the parents, their concerns were taken care and they were satisfied. When it came to the second category of the parents who said that, why should we pay fees for an online school? We had a one-to-one conversation with them. And we made them understand that the need to pay the fees. What is the reason? How do we run the entire school when the entire school is not there, the salaries of the staff, the salaries of the support staff, and then in addition to this, we ensure that the learning will not be compromised. So there were many, questions coming up. Those were answered, and we also proved them that we are not going to compromise on any parameter of the child's learning. So since they were reluctant in the beginning, after 6 months also they understood that the efforts taken by the school are in the right direction. The outcome that is desired in the learning of the children is not being compromised. So with this, things were under control. I have only that 0.5% of the parents who still continued with, talking about online school and fees and why this fee should be applicable to online schools. But we try to make them understand from time to time. So then the GR from the Maharashtra also came last year saying that the school should give 15% discount and all those things. We said no. It is very clear. The government since has given us clear-cut guidelines of getting the fees approved through the parents, through the association. The government suddenly cannot tell us, because once we get the fees approved, there are specific criteria which we share with them. There are specific things which we share with them, and on the basis of that, the fees is approved. So now suddenly the government cannot come and tell us to reduce 15% on what basis? So these were the things which were made very clear to the parents. So this helped us to sail smoothly in the year 2020 and then 21. And yes, of course, now the next new session 22, 23 will also begin from the month of April. So these are the strategies that we adopted. And yes, I would say that I got complete support from my parents. And during this pandemic period, not a single pay cut of any employee of GG International School was done. We gave increment last year. We gave increment this year also.
That's great, ma'am. That's great. I mean, there was a lot of struggle with the principals. I can understand when you were speaking, all of us were thinking that okay, this has happened with us also. That was a very, at a bad time, we were very bad phase we were facing when we had to deal with the parents.
Sir, I will tell you, there was times last year 21, where I was called in the education office, and those officers, how they talk. And it was like, Tumhala mi sangto na, I am telling you, you have to give concession. So these are the orders that were verbally released. And, there were a lot of hardships where officers used to come and tell us that you cannot take action against the child if the child is not paying the fees. I do understand learning will not be compromised, but at least, when the parents don't respond to our mails, to our continuous calls, there has to be a, platform where they need to come and talk to the school. We are open. But why aren't they coming and sharing with us? So lots of hardships, sir. But yes, it was, again, I treat it as a learning phase and how to handle every situation.
Talking about RT, about government official, with the RT also we have to face so many times throughout the year. Every year we have to face.
Yeah.
Because through the politicians or anyone, people who are able to pay, but they are showing their cards and they are taking admission as RT, there you have to fight and you have to send, and you have to look like a CID, you have to work as a CID. Okay, what thing you want. So that was quite a long challenge and a big challenge with us, which we have suffered. Now the parents, they know that they have to pay the fees. Thank you, ma'am. Rashmi, ma'am, please share your experience also that when this thing happened, because gradually when we talk about the private schools, we talk about the fees at the end of the day. So how did you deal with such type of parents?
Yes, true. There was lots of, hanky-panky going around. Every day we have to change the strategy. But I think with consistent effort, with constant meetings with them, calling them personally and listening to them, I think what matters here is the parents should have a faith on the school system. And that is why what I adopted right from the day one that we are going to do it with a complete, a conversation process and taking them into confidence. So what I did was, first of all, we created meetings, okay, today is the meeting with third class parents, then with fourth, then with fifth. And then, first the combined meeting, listening to their problems over there, and then calling them, one by one to come and meet the school management personally. In school management, none other than me, right? So just listening to them, just solving their problems, and just giving them a pat at the back. It's okay, everything is going to be fine, don't worry. If you're not able to pay the fees for 3 months, 4 months, doesn't matter, let the education go, and you can pay later on, there's no issue. So the fines were waived off. We waited, and then in the end, we have also adopted a way that, okay, fine, you're not able to pay, even your 6 months fees is pending. Okay, now you please divide it into installments, and you can pay for another 6 months, or you can pay for another 8 months. It's an easy installment. It's on your wish. So basically, you have to construct a belief system. And again, I resonate with the Bharti ma'am, that end of the day we felt, oh my God, that we are able to recover 90% of the fees, and the 10% which is left was really the genuine cases wherein a parent was not there, and the father has lost the job, and then then the role of the management comes in. You gather documents, and then you convince them that this child is really needy. He wants some concession, maybe 40%, maybe 50%, maybe 60%. And today, when I look back, the last year, we were able to recollect around 96% of 96 point something percent of the fees. And this, I'm talking about a collective thing. So that was quite an achievement. And yes, in all this bargain, I have evolved as a different human being. I always used to feel myself that I am like, when such tough situations come, I raise my voice, I become furious. And I tell you, this year has made me so quiet listener and made me quite a calm person. You have seen a parent sitting and jumping in front of you, and you're sitting calmly and listening to him, in a very nice manner. Okay, let him speak first, let him take out all his grievances, and then I will speak. So this was altogether a complete learning. And that, what would I say, that quite resonating kind of effect has come. You feel that, okay, you are able to, take out the real thing from the person who's sitting in front of you. Sometimes you have seen mothers crying. You have seen, because a lady sitting at home is really stuffed, lots of pressure. बच्चा पढ़ नहीं रहा है, घर में बैठा है 24 घंटे, घर का काम भी करना है, in-laws भी है. So all those things, they come up to you. And I tell you, I feel that I have evolved a good belief system in my school. I have myself evolved as a human being, understanding human values, understanding the ups and downs and emotions. And yes, I feel proud today that again I'm here with Bharti ma'am, that there's no even a single penny being cut from the salary of the group D, not even the teachers, all the teaching and non-teaching staff, everybody was paid, and things went in such a nice manner. So learning was taking place at each and every step. Children not joining classes, and then convincing, even because I myself teach, I feel that if a principal is not teaching, it's I feel empty at the end of the day, that I haven't taught. It was because into the blood since long. So giving a personal call and then talking to the mother, acha kaise ho, ye wo. So it's actually very nice. And sitting at home, you had lots and lots of time planning. Okay, this can be done, that can be done. So along with all these planning techniques, execution techniques, teaching techniques, I think what matters a lot is we all have become very, very humanitarian and quiet and calm personalities. That was what, end of the day, I could gather.
That's great, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. And we had all been sailing in the same boat, and we have been going through all this process, finding out the parents who are actually really needy, and talking to the management. You have to divide. Like ma'am was, Shivani ma'am also was saying, Bharti ma'am was also saying, and you also said, Rashmi ma'am, we had to divide the parents in categories. Those who are needy one side, and the very other side was those who were playing with us, that with they wanted to mix into that, and they didn't want to pay the fees. And like the government said, ma'am said, Bhati ma'am said, that the government said, state government said, okay, you have to curtail down 15% fees, because the allegation of the parents or associations was that you are okay, you are teaching, you have to pay the fees, to your, sorry, salaries to your staff and all, teaching and non-teaching, but the running cost is not going on. आपको electricity का bill नहीं देना पड़ रहा है, this and that you don't have to pay. So something should be compensated, if not 50%. So they wanted it anyway. Some of the parents, these type of parents who made associations otherwise, कि पहले तो देनी ना पड़े, उसके बाद हाफ हो जाए, जितना कम हो जाए, जो हो जाए वही बहुत है. Something is better than nothing. So I mean, schools had to stay strong, like Bharti ma'am said, that we won't give that, and we have to face the, the voices of the officers also of the government, how they talk. We know very well how they talk. When you know you have to take, no, you have to give this % discount, or you have to take the admission. That you would say in Hindi, how type they make it. When they're coming for RT, they're coming up with the parents and saying, okay, you have to take the admission. Let us get into the process. They say, no, aap admission lijiye, you do it like this. So they get it done after, because whatever the milli bhagat or whatever they have in between them. So we also have to be very strong at that time. And during these 2 years of pandemic, we have faced a lot of challenges at a legislature, at every place, with the government officials, with the parents, with the students, with the teachers and everyone. Thank you, Rashmi ma'am. I'll come up to Shivani ma'am. Shivani ma'am, we know that we have complaining children, but we have certain complaining parents also, that one or two they might meet throughout in the school, but we have it everywhere. So they always have certain complaints कि ये नहीं ठीक है, वो नहीं ठीक है, this is not right, this is wrong. How do you deal with these type of parents?
I think the best thing to do is give them a listening, because there would be a lot of irate parents who would keep coming with even small things, which won't even be significant at all. But the most important thing, though of course the context is different, but Bharti ma'am and Rashmi ma'am both have mentioned about their listening, as specifically Rashmi ma'am was mentioning about that she gave ears to them. So that is very, very important. And the second thing that I do is, I had learned during my Pfizer tenure, there's a system of handling objections, which is called UVRHAS. So that was the short form for that was given, which was understand, verify, handle, answer, and secure commitment. So that I always keep practice. So the thing that I learned there in 1997 is what I'm practicing till today. So I understand, giving listening to the parent, I understand what the parent is saying. Then I paraphrase that, because it is very important for me to understand exactly the same thing that the parent is wanting me to understand. Because most of the times the communications are not complete only because my perspective of understanding something could be different than what the other person is trying to explain to me. So I paraphrase what the parent is telling me, and then according to my understanding and his or her acceptance of that, then I go ahead and put in like my stands or my school stand, whatever the things are. So based on that, and of course, then at the end of it, securing commitment from the parent as well. Because if I am committing anything from my school's behalf or my teacher's behalf or anything, it is equally important for me to secure the commitment from the other side as well. So once I do that, that is where my handling of the objection of the parent ends over. So that's the process that I follow.
That's great, ma'am. Wonderful, way of dealing with the parents. Thank you, ma'am. I'll come up to Mr. Mayank now. Mayank, we have come to know, during these 2 years, especially, that a gap has been built between the parents and the schools. How do you bridge up these gaps? Because as you have heard throughout the session, that the parents had been saying that there's no online classes, you have to give 15% discount on online classes are just a, a mess. I mean, you're trying to fool the parents. So how do you bridge up this gap?
So first of all, I don't believe that online, like I don't completely agree. हाँ मतलब ये बात तो है कि online classes are not a replacement of offline classes. That's very true. But they are at least 60-70% of that. There was a doctor who was talking to me. He has a kid of 4 years of age. So उनको ABCD भी नहीं आता था, मतलब 4.5-5 साल का हो गया था बच्चा. तो मैंने बोला सर आप डॉक्टर हो और आपने अभी तक स्कूल में एडमिशन नहीं कराया है, सो व्हाट इज द रीजन बिहाइंड इट. तो उन्होंने सरप्राइजिंगली ये बोला 1 साल की फीस. मैंने कहा सर अगर आप जैसा डॉक्टर ऐसी बातें करेगा तो हाउ विल आवर सोसाइटी ग्रो. एंड नाउ यू आर टेलिंग टू मी कि अब मेरे को नर्सरी में एडमिशन कराना है 5 साल के बच्चे का. तो that's how the things were like 1 year back when they were. So I think जो जैसे भारती मैम ने बोला, शिवानी मैम ने बोला, रश्मि मैम ने बोला, तो ऐसे ही व्हाट वी डू इज वी, एक बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग है, अ वॉक विद द बेस्ट स्कूल्स करके हमने एक सीरीज स्टार्ट करी है. So we are taking interviews of each and every individual principal as well over there, and we are broadcasting that to all the parents who are seeking admission and as well as the parents who are actually studying in the school. So there should be a message that should go from the principal to all the parents and all those people directly, as well as हमने जो ये पूरा वेबिनार्स करते हैं आपके थ्रू. सो ये जो सारी हम कंटेंट क्रिएट कर रहे हैं, तो कंटेंट क्रिएट करके पेरेंट्स के बीच में एजुकेशन एंड अवेयरनेस लाना बहुत ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. तो वो एक हमारा बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट रोल रहा है लास्ट 2 ईयर्स में. मैंने एक बड़ा फनी कैंपेन चलाया था फेसबुक पे, दैट इज वो स्विगी और जोमेटो को कंपेयर करते हुए कि आपका एवरेज ऑर्डर वैल्यू इतना होता है पूरे 1 साल का और आप पूरे 1 साल की फीस इतनी होती है. तो आप कंपेयर कर रहे हो दोनों चीजों का, एंड यू आर नॉट एक्चुअली coming to school and paying the fees and actually education. So education को प्रायोरिटी लाना और वो करना वो सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है. बट यस, बहुत बड़ा टास्क है और वो आसानी से पेरेंट्स को समझ आना, मतलब मुझे लगता है कि उसके लिए हम जैसे लोगों को सबको मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी साथ में. तो उसके लिए वी आर ब्रिजिंग द गैप थ्रू आवर प्लेटफॉर्म. सो अ पेरेंट कैन कम, go through the schools, like go through interviews, and then they can apply to the schools through our platform. So this is how we are actually bridging the gap.
That's great. So actually the schools might be getting help from you, that through you, because you are directly communicating with the parents. He told me on Saturdays you have from 7 o'clock onwards, you have session with the parents also. Every Saturday you are taking with them. So it is actually you are putting forward our words to the parents. That is a great help. And probably my understanding is that gradually this method of taking admissions be there throughout the India. It is moving gradually because of people like you have started. Somewhere it has to be started. 30 years back, 25 years back, we were talking about mobiles. So it was a luxury. So I used to say when the Reliance 500 rupees mobile came from Ambani, that Reliance mobile came. So my self wording was कि एक दिन ऐसा आएगा कि मूंगफली घंटी बजेगी, मूंगफली वाला मूंगफली उठाएगा और मोबाइल निकालेगा. तो now if you speak about that, तो कहने यार क्या पागल वाली बातें करते थे आप यार. So but that time it was something कि नहीं ऐसा होना, it's very big thing. Now it is a necessity. Without mobile you cannot do. And mobile we're talking about, not keyboard, keypad mobile. The smart mobiles have to be used, and technology is changing, and after every year you have to change, or 2 years you have to change the mobiles also. Likewise, I feel that concept you have brought in, people like you, I don't know who else is there in the industry more were doing work like you. I mean, the same concept. But whatever people have brought up in the industry, in the education industry, is a very interesting thing which you have brought, which will help the schools a lot. And gradually from the big cities to the small cities, it will gradually, within few years, it will reach to the whole India for sure. I believe that. All the best to you.
And surprisingly, भारती मैम की जो सिटी है पुणे से, मतलब दिल्ली एनसीआर से ज्यादा रेस्पॉन्स हमें भारती मैम की सिटी से मिल रहा है. तो भारती मैम की सिटी से पेरेंट्स, सारे टेक सेवी पेरेंट्स हैं वहां पे, और स्कूल्स इतने हैं वहां पे, इतने ज्यादा. देयर आर नंबर ऑफ स्कूल्स दैट हैव ओपनड अप इन पुणे रिसेंटली. सो आई थिंक पेरेंट्स आर मोर एंड मोर कंफ्यूज्ड. But what I have observed, the clear difference between Delhi NCR and Pune is, like I'm not being biased over here, but in Pune the parents are more educated and more aware than the parents of Delhi specifically. So मेरे को ये observation है.
What do you want to say is that in Delhi NCR you have Punjabis.
नहीं, गुड़गांव में कोई ऐसे categorization
you
नहीं कर रहा.
have Punjabis where they are मतलब mixed lot, literate and illiterate both. तो हमको ये admission कराना है. And but Pune
I think it is not about literacy or illiteracy. I think it's about more about awareness, you know,
Right.
and being accepting the things, you know, acceptability is yet another thing.
No, I just want to, talk on this. It's not about more educated. See, all these years in Maharashtra, we had state board schools and some ICSE schools, very few CBSE schools. Now the parents have started exploring because a lot of CBSE schools have come up. So this has given them a platform where they explore. Now they are able to, find a school as per the expectations that they are looking forward. So this is a change that has come in Pune.
That is sure,
And in
ma'am. You're
fact, I
right.
believe that a lot of universities are also, private universities are also coming up in Pune. Like
Yes,
Flames,
yes.
I think, is in Pune only.
Yeah, Flames is in Pune.
And so the liberal arts things and all of these things. So that's the bridging thing, because otherwise there had been a gap between the schooling and between the college education. So that gap is also getting bridged.
So Pune was basically, focusing on more on engineering, and we have medical colleges, government and private. But now a lot of, management colleges and liberal art colleges and such universities are coming up.
Right.
So it's now becoming a hub of education, and that is why we see the change in our parents who look forward to get admission in schools.
Yes, ma'am, because I'm also from commerce background, and many of my students, till now, the students from our schools and many other schools from Kanpur also, they either move to Delhi NCR or they move to Pune, Bangalore. They are more of interested now, they are more of interested in Pune and Bangalore as compared to Delhi NCR. तो
AQI is good. Air quality भी अच्छी है वहाँ की.
Air quality अच्छी है.
Just on a lighter
Safety is
note.
also there. Safety is also there as compared to Delhi NCR. The girls are more safer, or boys even. You need safety for the boys even. It's not equal. It's equally needed.
Even
So that is
Mohali is also coming up in a big way. There are universities like, I guess, Plaksha is opening there, has already opened.
Yeah, Rahat Bahara and the Chandigarh University and Chitkara University.
Right.
Around 3-4 universities have come there also. But Pune and Bangalore is growing a lot because the students, they are going there for their management studies also. Like so many colleges and universities are over there also. The government colleges are also over there. And Pune and Bangalore is a quite beautiful place. And of course, Delhi NCR is also a very big hub. My daughter is also studying in Delhi NCR, Noida, Greater Noida. She is studying, doing English honors in Sharda University. So I had seen that Knowledge Park, so many universities are over there. And I had been dealing with so many universities, OP Jindal and nearby and all.
Sonipat.
So,
Near
Sonipat. Yeah, Sonipat.
We also have a university called Rishihood University in Sonipat. And that's again based on Vivekanand's culture. So going back to the Gurukul culture, we have integrated approach there. And we are also giving, what we're doing there is that we are giving internships to school going students. So they can come in and they can take internships there. Besides internships, they can even take some short-term, like if somebody wants to go into fashion, somebody wants to go into management. So be there in the campus for a week, see how, what kind of course curriculum is there, how things are, so that it becomes easier for the child to choose. So that kind of options are being offered. So a lot of universities in Sonipat belt is coming up, and even Hyderabad, like this thing, Mahindra University. So they are tying up with the US universities there. So it in turn helps the students to take into consideration the revenue. So if somebody has to go out as in abroad and study, it would be high on package. Whereas if a tie-up is there with an international university and the Indian university, you're saving on a cost.
Right. That's great. We'll talk about that also sometime. Thank you so much, everyone. We have taken a lot of your time. We have exceeded the time even. Thank you, Rashmi ma'am. Thank you, Bharti ma'am. Thank you, Shivani ma'am. Thank you, Mayank for coming to the show and letting us with your beautiful thoughts, and wish that we will meet again in another show and a session. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thanks, everybody. God bless everybody and stay safe. Stay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Very much required, ma'am. Very true. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Take care. Good day.